name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taken from what's often called the psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, which long ago and understand was referred to by some as philosophical medicine or narrative medicine. This is part two of two. I was just doing part one, and unexpectedly, I accidentally must have. Um, I don't know how it happened exactly, but I turned the camera to show you the swan, and I accidentally turned off. I accidentally turned off the phone, so I'm just lunging right back into doing a part two to continue where I just left off in part one. So where was I in part one? Oh, about the importance of leaving the cord. Um, the importance of leaving the cord and the placenta for the baby. That's a huge issue. So, that preserves the continuity and the oneness of the mother. And he's making a huge transition from the water world to the land world. So he needs all the support he can get, kind of thing. So leave the cord, leave the placenta. It's commonly called the lotus birth, like the lotus flower, stem, pod, baby, cord, placenta. Keep it all intact. Keep it intact. Okay, just wait a couple of days, and the cord will drop off on its own accord. By that time, the child will have gotten used to the new world, the land world, like that, and then everything's okay. It's a smooth transition. Um, there are often complications at the birth, all the more reason to maintain his support system, his support network. Indigenous people regard the placenta and the cord like the child's spiritual guardian, power source, spiritual source, power source, animal guardian source, all that. You're going to take that away? Jesus, in effect, some people interpret it as the mother in effect because it links them to the mother. Either way you think about it, you remove the bridge to the mother, you lost the mother. If you regard that as the maternal system, uh, that you lost the mother either way. So you got to leave the cord, leave the placenta. So let's assume the baby did have a welcoming womb, no prenatal trauma, no prenatal distress syndrome. Okay, and then and then at birth he wasn't traumatized at birth. Okay, and then and you increase the chances of that taking place where he's not traumatized if you leave the cord, leave the placenta. Okay, and then the baby needs a blissful oneness for the first 4 to 5 months, um, with the skin to skin, natural feeding, loving gaze, warm embrace, and the continuity of the blissful safety, rhythm of safety, mother's attunement, mother's attunement, mother's reverie, consideration, understanding, meeting the baby's needs. Mother's a symbiotic object for the baby. Mother's a self object for the baby, feeding the baby. It's all one way like that. Yes, the baby's entitled. Yes, he's a king or a god. Yes, mother feeds so he can grow into a human kind of psychology. But in the beginning, he has this mythological psychology. He's a god or a king or something. So for the first 4 to 5 months, it's a kind of a psychological egg, mother infant dual unity. Yes, he's still a king and a god. He thinks he owns the breast mother. He thinks, you know, that if the breast mother's feeding him, he thinks he's feeding himself. He's so autocratic, so important, doesn't need anybody. So entitled, so powerful, magical thinking, and he creates it. He thinks it. He creates it. Back to the Forbidden Planet in part one, and then at 4 to 5 months, he quote unquote hatches. He begins moving towards the psychological birth. But for the psychological birth, it's a gradual process, beginning at 4 to 5 months up to age 3 to 4. Whereas the biological birth took place, in a minute or something. Um, then you need the egg for the psychological. In terms of the psychological birth, you need that oneness phase, and then you begin to hatch out of 4 to 5 months. 4 to 5 months to 18 months, he's still dealing with infantile megalomania. He thinks the world's his oyster. He's love affair with the world. He owns the world. Superman, motor skills, powerful. So the mother shouldn't rebuff him. The mother shouldn't say, "Don't touch this," because the baby thinks, "Don't be me." Mother says, "Don't touch that, baby. Don't be me." So don't rebuff him during that time. Just gently distract him so he doesn't, put the fork in the electrical socket or something, so he doesn't hurt himself. Just gently distract him. In fact, the mother should kind of worship the baby like your little god. Oh, baby, your little god. Oh, I see. Yes, yeah. Let the baby think he's a little god or a king or something, um, and have a delight in that, and have an appreciation that her baby is nature's greatest miracle. That the odds of her baby being there and her baby being who that baby is going to become, okay, that uniqueness of the baby, nature's greatest miracle. Never in all of history was there ever any baby just like her baby. Never in the future again. Kind of a special thing like this, and the odds of that child having this uniqueness are 1 in 400 trillion. So we're all chosen that way. A sidebar here: if the odds of any person being here are 1 in 400 trillion, according to one mathematician, biologist, fellow, I think, I'm not sure the exact source, but it's been going around that the odds of any person being here are 1 in 400 trillion. So we're all chosen. The Great Spirit chose you if you are here, and the odds of you being here are 1 in 400 trillion. Come on. And there's the old joke that, you know, um, I don't know how many men, I don't know how many little of those little, what do they call it, spermosas or something, and only one made it to the egg, and that's you. So you're the winner already. So you have some self-esteem from just sort of a joke. You can have some self-esteem from that perspective. But I think more broadly speaking, I think the general idea that the odds of any person being here are 1 in 400 trillion. So we're all chosen. Nature, this great spirit. If you're here, the great spirit made all this. Well, then you're chosen by the great spirit. Let's have a little appreciation like this. And if anyone thinks they're special and you're not, okay, that's a sign of trauma called infantile megalomania, where they felt so shamed and devalued by the trauma, they say you're no good, and they compensate by regressing back to the time leaders where they were no God. And from that place, they think they're special and their soul no good. You can have it. They say you're no good. I'm special. You're no. They're talking about themselves, which they project. When there's too much pain about yourself, you project and say they're no good. Okay. And if your mother hurts you so much and you think she's bad, well, then you think others are bad. So in trauma, the child might think he's no good, mother's dangerous. Because of the fusion, because of the pain, they can't own that. So they project it and think it's external, and they believe it's external. They're no good and they're dangerous. Whoa, that's the whole point of the Forbidden Planet. These kind of things, these kind of images and fantasy, they're manifestations from you, within, the beast is within, the shame feeling, it's within, all this is within. So they had a magical science fiction idea. What if you could materialize it? What if you could see it, know that it's a production called the id monster from your unconscious monster, like a feeling, anger, rage at the child, make a character as a symbol or a piece of artwork to describe with him, to make it clear it's with him. Joni Mitchell says, yeah, the beast is with him. Like it's all with them. There's no outer, it's no external separate from you. It's if you don't know that it's with them, then to not know the pain of that, the thing called projection, externalization, blaming, scapegoat, you convince yourself, oh, it's external like that. Okay, no, I highly recommend the Forbidden Planet film. I discussed it a little bit. I mentioned it in part one, but I discussed it at length in the last three videos. 1956 science fiction film called Forbidden Planet. And they talk about the id monsters, monsters from the id. What is the id? Well, it's the elementary, um, the primary material of the unconscious. I forgot the exact wording of it. They even talk about specifically the id and the id monster, the unconscious, the id, and it's a materialization from your id. So Morbius was linked up to this unconscious mechanism that can materialize. So we know about the conscious idea. If you wish something, there it is. The baby thinks, gee, I wish I can get some food now. There's the food. He made it happen. Well, what about unconscious wishes? So that's what the film is about. What if the person is unconsciously angry at somebody, and then so Morbius's unconscious would create a monster to push away the guy who insulted his daughter one time, and but he didn't know that, right? He didn't know that. That's the point of the film, that these kind of fantasies of monsters and beasts and all that, okay, that's like artwork of how you feel. That's like code for how you feel, and you create it in a through the medium or through the art procedure of film and science fiction film and the genre of science fiction. You can see it there, and they can tell you that that's within. And if you don't know that, the tendency is you're going to say it's external, and you're going to blame others, and then you're scaring yourself um, like that. Well, people would rather do that than face the pain that is within. So the film is telling you, look in the mirror. Okay, look in the mirror. Man in the mirror. Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Yeah, they're still there. My preferred regular spot, um, where I normally do these videos when I come to this venue. There's a lovey-dovey, there's a honeymoon kind of couple. I don't know, a romantic couple, hugging and kissing and drinking wine at my spot, where I normally do the videos. This is my first time doing it at this spot. I don't really want to do it here because it's just right beside the main guests and all that. That back there, it's sort of the corner like that. They're still there, eh? Almost 2 hours later, eh? They're totally drunk. They've been drinking wine continuously for 2 hours. This couple. I don't know why, right? Like why would a honeymoon couple need to get drunk? Aren't they happy just already? Maybe it's a way to bliss out further, to bond. Maybe it is a bonding. Maybe it's a to make more of a bond or something. Yeah, maybe I don't know. To escape together. They bonded by escaping together. I don't know. I have no idea about them. Yeah. Anyways, actually, this spot's kind of cool. Sometimes the swan will make an appearance. Is that him there? Oh yeah. Oh, there's two of them. Yeah, there's two of them right there. Yeah. There's three swans here. The two black ones and the older white one. So we'll see them later on. Those two black swan, they're babies. Those two, they're like just a few months old. Can you believe it? Um, yeah. So the mother should rebuff the baby from 4 to 5 months to 18 months when he's. So let's say there's a like a 1 year old kid running around here, and he thinks he owns it all. He can do what he wants. Um, so just allow him that feeling that he's Superman. He's got new motor skills. He can run now. Before he was passive. Didn't know he had motor skills. Now he's got motor skills. Whoa, that's like new superpowers. He's Superman now from his perspective. He's Superman, Spider-Man, Aquaman. I don't know. Pick your favorite superhero. He's a superhero now. I got these new powers. Wow, I'm a super baby man, and I own the whole thing. I own the world, and I'm Superman. It's all mine. So let him have this phase. That's very important for him to have this phase. Let him have that phase. If he's deprived of that phase, he'll spend the rest of his life stuck there looking for the continuation of that, the fulfillment of that, so he can spend the rest of his life thinking he's a little God, all about him, entitled, trapped in the mirror, all about him, all about him, all of. He'll be stuck like this. He'll be narcissistic, selfish, egocentric, greedy, envious, okay, devalue, um, and make excuses, feels entitled, trapped in the mirror. He's always center stage, twist everything, make it about him, can't see beyond his nose, trapped in the mirror, okay, trapped in the reflection in the water, narcissist myth. So he's missing life. A requiem for the loss of the soul, requiem for the loss of his beingness, because his beingness couldn't be there. His beingness couldn't be there. If he can't, if he doesn't get his narcissism needs met in that proper time, okay, his soul flies away, and then requiem for the loss of our soul. The name of the Star Trek episode, requiem for um, man's suffering of losing their soul for the past 6,000 years. In the Star Trek, I've talked about the. I mentioned the Star Trek episode called "Requiem for um, Methalus, Methuselah," season three, episode 19. I think it's the one where Spock plays the piano, the Requiem, and Methuselah was just a symbol as code for the man's suffering for all this time. So Spock would play the piano. That's a very good episode. It's a very good follow-up episode to Forbidden Planet. So, in a recent video, the mission was to watch Forbidden Planet and the follow-up, the Star Trek episode. That Star Trek episode, 1956 film called Forbidden Planet, science fiction film, excellent film. Too bad about the actor. They part of the unappeal of that film is this boring, extremely boring Ken doll-like, infantile, angry, petty Captain Nick guy. They kind of wrecked it with that. Uh, Cold, nasty, boring. Uh, I don't know what it is. How to describe it. He looks handsome, so they put him in there for that, and they had future plans for him. Obviously, it's sort of like a strategic choice or something. but it wrecked the film. That's part of the reason I think the film didn't have a genuine appeal. And the second reason the film didn't get its broader appeal is because maybe they wanted to hide the fact that it's a lesson that you have an unconscious. They talked about the id monsters, monsters from the id. What is the id? They talked about the unconscious, that you have wishes and fantasies, you materialize it's within. You see, if people get the idea that it's within, they might get their feelings, they might be ethical, they might be moral. Well, if they don't know that, then you're still stuck in paranoia mode. Well, the beast is outside, so um, that's how you pillage and plunder. That your mother's outside who hurt you. No, you have a memory of your mother hurting you, and the image of that it's from within. It's the memory. The image is the memory, and the pain and the memory. It's not some external thing. It's an image. So they were trying to help you to look inward. They were trying to make you be self-reflective about yourself like that. That might have been another reason they diminished or changed their attitude about the film, because they said it in the beginning. Oh, what happened here? Oh, they said in the beginning they wanted to teach psychoanalysis uh, broadly. So it was a family film to teach the public a little bit about psychoanalysis, a little bit. Just the basic message, i.e., hey, everybody, you have an unconscious. This planet, this forbidden planet, that's, you know, an artistic way of saying you have an unconscious. This planet is self sustaining, it's always there, it's kind of powerful, you know, it's got thoughts and fantasies and wishes like you do. So we're going to say that this planet can show you your unconscious wishes, fantasies, and if you're angry, there'll be a monster. That monster is your anger. So it's within. It's always within. So you have an unconscious, and if you think there's some kind of dangerous thing, um, and if you don't know that, see, they want you to know that, because if you don't know that and you're traumatized, the tendency is to just say others are that. So you don't know it's within. They want to say no, look within. That film is in the spirit of Michael Jackson's song "Man in the Mirror." Look within. Look in the mirror. It's all you. So we have some good quotes, and we discussed that film a fair bit. And then the follow up is the Star Trek episode "Requiem for Methuselah." Hold on a second. Yeah, that's my first time accidentally turning off the camera with my new phone here. It's the same thing. If I suddenly turn it, it shuts out. Luckily, I didn't lose the recording, so I've got the part one. Oh, I got it. Problem with this speaker is it keeps turning off. It takes time to reset it all the time. I felt the earth move, don't know what to do. I felt the earth move, don't know what to say. I felt the earth move, gotta wake up soon. I felt the earth move, time to fly away. Tell me one thing worth fighting for. So much to say, what does it really mean? Sometimes you have to fight in your own world, but I felt the earth move, don't wanna fight no more. So let's continue to raise consciousness here, trying to raise consciousness and continue in the spirit of the Forbidden Planet show and the Twilight Zone show. The Twilight Zone show. A lot of episodes of the Twilight Zone show are code for psychology. Wong's Lost and Found Emporium, very good one. Gabe's Story, oh, very clear, very good. Gabe's Story, highly recommend Gabe's Story. Memphis, okay. The key to future lies in the past. Um, One Life Furnished in Poverty, another one. Um, Take My False Life, Please, about the comedian guy. We mentioned the very emotional one about the Doberman Pinscher yesterday, and several others. So the Saturday one, we talked a fair bit about the Saturday one. And the prequel to it is one called Nervous Man in a $4 Room. from the original series, and so on. So we've been talking about the Twilight Zone episodes. They're self-contained short stories, speculative fiction, little plays, like a play on a theater, but on TV instead. So you got a narration and you got a closing narration. So it's kind of like a self-contained, a little lesson like that to make you think and to make you look at yourself and make sometimes it's analytic, sometimes it's just persuasion, but it's they're very good. The Twilight Zone, not all of them. Roughly 1 out of 10 are very good. 1 out of 10 are really good. Another maybe let's say three. Let's say 3 out of 10 are kind of okayish. Yeah, fine, okay. And the others say 6 out of 10 are totally forgettable. I would say maybe. But those 1 out of 10 that we're focusing on. So we've done about a roughly a dozen or so. Um, they've got several hundred episodes, yeah, over the different various reboots. Hold on a second.
Waves of sorrows are crashing down on me. They pull me deep down to the ground. Dust and fog constrain my saddened mind. Oh, how I'm stuck when my spirit and mind are bound. Bring me to my hayfield.
Very relatable song. She's talking about feeling stress. Is there any kind of safe place where she can just relax a little bit? So for her, it's this hayfield. For another one, it was a cornfield. For another one, it was a wheat field. For another one, it was a meadow. Another one, it was like a waterfall place, like a gardens kind of place. Maybe for that couple, it's maybe it's my spot. Maybe my spot is their hay. It's a young couple. They're high spirits. They're happy. I don't know to what degree the happiness is uh, um, following being drunk, or without it. I don't know. So like I'd be at that spot talking about why people choose the people they choose when they get married. I'd be talking about the thing that's going on there. Like they're in the honeymoon phase of their relationship. They're in the honeymoon phase. It may be that it may be that the man reminds her of her mother, and it may be that the woman reminds him of the father. So they both recreate their respective parental imprint model. So typical. So one theory is, let's say, just as a starting point, quickly, if the firstborn is a girl, okay, um, the tendency, according to Miss Teachworth, is she'll role model herself after the father, and when she grows up, she'll choose a partner in the same way he chose. So she'll choose a man with the same personality of his mother. So she marries the mother. I mean, she marries a man with the personality of the mother because she chose how he chose. He chose a woman with a certain personality. Okay? She's going to choose a man with that very same personality like he chose. So you're still at the you follow the template. That's psychoanalysis. You got a template, and you live by that template. So you recreate it. And if it's a painful template, you're going to recreate that kind of thing. So you play after one parent, find someone to play the other. Now, if it's the fellow, it's a flip. If the firstborn is a fellow, okay, he's going to role model himself after the mother. And so that means when he grows up, he'll choose a woman, a wife, with the same personality as the father, because it's about not about gender, it's about personality. Okay? So he's going to follow the template. He'll mimic the mother and find a woman to play the father slot and recreate that template in the present. So that's just one theory like that. If if the parents are opposites, your relationship will be opposites, right? If the parents are like attracts like, you'll have the same like attracts like. You're just going to recreate the imprint. You have an imprint, and you recreate it, and your choices are by the imprint. Okay, that's a 3 video discussion from 2741 to 3. A very good stretch videos, I thought. 28, 20. Sorry, pardon me. 2941 to 3 by Ann Teachworth. Why we pick the mates we do. So the child is conditioned to understand what couple relating is like. Child sees father, child sees mother, imprint. Okay, they grow up, they recreate the imprint. They'll role model themselves after one and find someone to fit the other one, and you recreated it. So a lot of women say, when they get married, they say, "Oh my God, if it's the firstborn, um, see the secondborn, it'll be flipped, right? And whatever the third one is, the fourth will be flipped. Something about genetics, about the pairing, like that." So, but generally speaking, a lot of women say they married their mother. They say, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me! This man I married, he reminds me way too much of my mother." Well, you were attracted to him because you're compelled to choose how your father chose. He chose a woman like that, so you're going to choose a man with that personality. So that's why it feels like you married your mother, because you're only attracted to a man with the personality of your mother, because that's loyal to the template of choosing how your father chose. So, for example, if the father was, let's say it's opposites. Let's say the child grew up, and it's a typical stereotype. Let's say the father's a quiet, intellectual, turtle, shelled off egghead, you know, reads his books, leave me alone kind of thing. And the mother's the more dramatic, emotional, demanding, hysterical, whatever. And so they're kind of opposites like that, right? So the daughter's gonna role model after the father. So when she grows up, she'll only be attracted to a man with the mother's personality, because she's gonna choose how he chose. So she ends up with the man with his mother's personality. And she says to herself, "I can't believe this. Why is why is my husband so similar to my mother?" Now, if it's the firstborn, switch it. Let's say the firstborn is a man, same parents. Yeah, let's say the man is there. He's going to role model after the hysterical, dramatic one, soap opera mother, and he'll marry a woman who's like a turtle, like the father. So he's going to marry a woman with his father's turtle personality. So he's going to marry a turtle. They have a turtle here. Actually, oh yeah, they have a turtle here. He very rarely makes an appearance. I've seen him only twice. Only twice. They've got this massive old turtle in there somewhere. Um, and let's say the guy said to himself, "Gee, when I get married, I don't want my mother to be so walled off and shelled off and uncommunicative and so silent and lives in her ivory tower and lives in her fantasy bubble or something. I want someone I can relate to, talk to, or something." But no, doesn't matter what you consciously want. You're unconscious. Okay, so your unconscious is going to compel you to feel attracted, to choose and be excited by and get excited if the woman is a turtle, has a turtle personality, similar to how your father had a turtle personality. So you end up with a wife with a turtle personality because your father had a turtle personality, because you role model after the mother, and she chose the turtle, so you choose how she chose. Okay. Now, this is not an issue if the parents are healthy. Your relationship will be healthy likewise. Not, we're talking about, oh, explosion. What happened here? So the way out of this is to um, create a new precedent to go by. So you do a Gestalt 3-chair exercise where you imagine you role playing healthy parents. You make it up and fantasize how you wish your parents were between them. So you role play a healthy father in a chair thing, apologizing, making an I statement, being open and communicative, and you role play how you wish your mother would have responded to his efforts. Okay, and you go back and forth like that with different scenes. Planning a trip, discussing a film, uh, solving clarifying a miscommunication. You role play how you wish you saw your parents relate to each other, and you do this exercise again and again and again. Okay, so the example was this couple. There was a couple. Their marriage was on the rocks. She went to the counselor. Counselor, please teach us how to communicate with each other. We're always arguing. Um, how do we talk to each other? He's always stonewalling. She's denying. Too stubborn. He's too stubborn. We can't solve our problems. Teach us how to communicate with each other. She says, no, no. I'll, ma'am, I'll work with you on Monday, and sir, I'll work with you on Tuesday. Okay? I said, okay, fine. So she came on Monday, and she said, oh, I see. So we're gonna roll. I'm gonna practice with you. I'm gonna role play with you. What? So why am I here? You and I are gonna work on the memory of how your parents related together. When you were a child, did you like how your parents related? Uh-uh. How do you wish they related? Oh, of course, I wish they had some fun together. I wish he was nice to her. I wish he would have done such and such, and I wish she did such and such. Okay, let's do a theater thing. Here's 2 chairs. You play him doing those things, and you play her doing those things, and you have an interaction of healthy parents. Really? So, okay, so she would do that on Mondays. The fellow would come in, same kind of thing. He would role play an imaginary positive parents. He would do the same thing. Okay, again, Monday, Tuesday. This went on for several months like this. So each partner created some kind of new reference point or some kind of new springboard or reference point of what a healthy parent should be. Because they role played it, right? So they have some kind of reference to it. It's fake, it's a positive, false memories. But anyways, you need something, otherwise you just fall into the pit of the old template. You need something new to refer to. So she had something new to refer to in her mind. He had, likewise with him. After several months, as above, so below. They have a healthier inner model to go by, so their outer will reflect that. They got along with each other because they both were kind of coming from their preference to come from the healthier alternative inner structure. So the outer is going to reflect that. As above, so below. The outer reflects the inner state. So they have an inner state to go by, another inner state to go by. So that's what the 3-chair exercise. Let's create a new inner state, then your outer will reflect that. So sure enough, several months passed by, they got along, they saved their marriage, they're happy together, and they did those nice things that they role played kind of thing. So the role playing of it was like exercising a muscle kind of thing. So you want to set a new precedent, a new model. If you don't have any other kind of model to go by, you've got this compulsion to recreate the past. Okay, so we spent several hours on this. I actually did some of those chair exercises. I actually physically jumped back and forth between the chairs. I was role playing a healthy father of mine. I wish I had. I was role playing a healthy mother. I wish I had. I was actually trying to do this kind of thing. Oh, it'll bring up dreams. It'll get dreams. It'll trigger memories. So that in of itself is helpful, But it's not just, you can't just do it once and it's a done deal. You got to do it again and again, and it's nice to have a facilitator like that because you don't know, you yourself might not know what are healthy communication skills to pretend your father has. So you learn positive, healthy skills, and don't do it with your wife. You give it to your father in the head, and then role play your father with those new skills, and role play him. Now you sit in the chair and you be him with those new skills. So you learn how to make an I statement. You don't um, before you do it with your wife or whatever, just first let your father do it with his wife, and you will play him doing it. And you same thing with the mother. You give that skill to your mother, and you role play your mother, knowing how to do an I statement. You act like her. You say, "My name is so and so." You say your mother's name. I'm gonna now make an I statement to my husband, that guy over there. I'm gonna make an I statement. Then you hop over there, and he receives it, gives empathy. That's what you want. Hop back here. How do you receive the empathy? Okay, and he gives empathy, she gives empathy. He makes I statements, he makes I statements. You got a fountain of love, a rhythm of love, new learning, new discovery, person to person relating, no blaming, no old tricks, no bottle, no infantile stuff. You're just talking about yourself, about I statements. Something happened, remind you of a past fear, you share that. Can he, validate? Uh, you must, you must have a, you have a really, you must have a very good reason for saying that. You must have a very good reason for feeling this. What's the hardest thing about that? What's the most scariest thing about that? So you validate the feelings. So you want your parents to validate each other's feelings. So role play that. If you would, if you would have liked to have seen your parents validate each other's feelings, then actually role play that interaction and make it up with the chair exercise. You bounce like that. Okay, so that's all explained in our book, Why We Pick the Mates We Do. Or go to the 3 videos here, as just mentioned, 29, 41 to 3. Um, they're still there, eh? Son of a gun, eh? They've been drinking wine. This couple in my chair, they've been drinking wine for almost, I guess, almost 2 hours continuously, eh? They must really be blasted, eh? My goodness. I don't know. I don't know. It could backfire on them, because if he's going to trigger fantasies of when he was a little god, and she triggers fantasies of when she was a little god. Okay, so the alcohol sometimes functions as an addictive trigger mechanism, or it fills in for the missing breast. So it's an ersatz, a fake ersatz breast, i.e., self object. Okay, so the chemistry of the alcohol, um, it's going to stimulate biochemistry reactions to influence your memories, emotions, fantasies, and it does. It keeps doing it, and the pain pushes it, and it tricks your brain to bring up fantasies of the old, once upon a time place in the uterus where you're a little god. Now you're hypnotized. You hypnotize yourself that you're back at that place and you're in a blissful place. So he might be in this blissful little bubble, and she creates a blissful little bubble. So they get along like that. Um, he's spaced out happy. She's spaced out happy. They don't really, um, on some level, they can remember the joining of this shared activity. Um, it's a statement of it's a statement of a desire to share experiences together. That's a bonding experience. There's a lot of positive side to it, or there could be the dark side of it as well. What if they don't know how to relate to each other um, without that? What if they become dependent on that? Okay, so when the alcohol wears off, um, and um, and they're no longer a little god bubble in their uterus, in their fantasies. Now they got to face reality in the present. What other defense mechanisms will they do? Will he make excuses and spend all of his time at work? And will she make excuses playing with her girlfriends as desperate housewives and just avoid each other? They might make other excuses. Will they have a kid and dump on the kid and scapegoat the kid and blame the kid and all the frustration blow off steam on the kid and blame the kid for their problem and a kid keeps the parents together because he agrees to absorb the pain between them because they're not making I statements. So there could be a dark side to this kind of a shared activity that's going on there. Obviously, for privacy reasons, I won't show you. I won't show it to you. But they're a young couple. They're a young couple. They're clearly in a. But they're in my. I come all the way here. That's the only spot with the fan. Oh, I see some. Oh, I feel some drizzle. Oh, the rain is very welcome. But I don't know if my phone can. I don't want to get. This is not waterproof, so I'm gonna need to get some. Oh, they've got lots of umbrellas here. Yeah. Oh, let's see if I can get an umbrella. One sec. Oh, hold on a sec. I do this. Just cover it. Hold on a sec. Still recording. I've got the umbrella here. All right. All right. My first time to do a video under the umbrella. Lighting okay? Yeah, okay, that's fun. Yeah, cool. Okay. There's our friend. We did a very good batch of quotes recently on the work of Miss Anne Golem, uh, 2901 to 14. I think that's it. From her two books called Unloved Again and Trapped in the Mirror, Narcissism. Good material. We did a 26 video special run on the work of Arthur Janoff, 2745 to 70, uh, at the beginning of this year, 2024. Highly recommend that 26 special run we did. That's like a self-contained course, really. It's jam-packed with insights. That bit about beliefs, that section is in there as well. So he has a simplified, sort of his own synthesis of it all. He did a great job. Um, he's famous for the first book, and that crashed, right? But he wrote 16 books beyond that. Everyone ignored it because of the pain of the first book. But those follow-up books were all continuous updates and learning and learning, and so it was very good. And just before he passed away in his 90, 80, 90, or whatever it was, um, he wrote that final book called Beyond Belief. Hard to find book. Took me ages to find it, about the cults and all that. A very, very informative book. So his main book is called Primal Healing. Um, Forget about that first book, the 1970 book, the Screen book. Forget about that. Just start after that. Begin there and read beyond that. He was just starting out, but he made it. He appealed to something that everybody's yearning for. How do we heal from birth trauma? How do we heal from prenatal trauma? So he was kind of talking in that area, and people are wildly excited about it because no one ever offered that kind of hope, you know. So what he got, so a huge disappointment. Some people even felt It's not healthy to force up feelings before you have a basket. First weave the basket, then the feelings will come up. Psychoanalysis looks for feelings, an egg in a basket that's missing. Weave the basket first. Is this working? Yeah, it's a bit of drizzling. All right. Well, this is a new thing for me here. If it rains, I can come here with the umbrella, and there won't be outdoor people, right? Oh no, there might be outdoor people. This is rare. This is rare to find the restaurant here without the side guests here. There's usually people all along here, and I go at the back place where the lovers are, where the smoochers, the drunk smoochers are. Well, no, they're discreet. They're not being too overt or something. We'll get to today's quotes. Yeah, so we'll be doing a 2945 today. So hang in there. Some good solid quotes as usual. I did feel enthusiastic talking about the Forbidden Planet and the Star Trek episodes. It was nice to apply and highlight the psychology that's implied there, but other people don't even notice it. Oh, I love the films. Why? I don't know. I just love it. Why? Well, it touches psychology. They don't. That's what this helps you for. This spells out the psychology. This is the only collection out there of analytic quotes that I know of. Yes, there's a book called Wit and Wisdom in Dynamic Psychotherapy by Gregory Bauer, done several decades ago. It's just uh, a few hundred quotes, okay. Um, so we plucked out a few of the good ones from there, but that's about it. This is vastly nothing like this is like an encyclopedia, really. Um, if it were printed, it'd be like this, like 5 volumes, like 5 books. It's like a mini encyclopedia, really. So it's something like it. We got 62 topics on the go. So, I mean, 62 chapters. Um, we could talk about those chapters as well. Yeah. So part of the journey of getting back our beingness, getting back our, so we had our beingness, we had our golden ball, we lost it, want to get it back. We had it, we lost it, want to get it back. But it coming back comes naturally. So we got to do things first to set it up for it to come back. Okay, one, we got to face um, oppositional thinking, adversarial thinking, either or thinking, my greed or your greed thinking, jungle slogan thinking. Okay, this kind of the split kind of thinking. Um, that comes about due to trauma. If you maintain that way of thinking, you're maintaining the trauma. The trauma is you lost your beingness. So if you maintain splitting, you maintain the loss of your beingness. If you resolve splitting, you get your beingness back. So you gotta upgrade either or, get it to both and. Okay, so um, you gotta search for the third side of the coin. The third side of the coin holds the other two sides. Okay, the middle ground, the middle way, the medium, the golden mean. Okay, the diamond with different facets. It's just something that holds the opposite, the tension of the opposites. It's not either or. If you insist on jungle slogan, my greed or your greed, you're not splitting, you don't get your beingness, you don't heal. So Bobby Yaga in the fairy tale Maiden King, I was sort of testing the person. Oh, so you want to heal, do you? Well, can you demonstrate your willingness to see your mother as a human being, not as a goddess or a demon? And he said, yes. Yes. Well, for example, so why is it yes? Um, well, she was impaired. She was impaired. She didn't get love to have her beingness to love, despite the fact that she couldn't love. She tried her best. She would have. She could have. So it's confused like that. It's a both and situation. She tried to love. She maybe secretly loved, but she couldn't. She was blocked, but she tried some other ways. But but in terms of being able to really love and meet the baby's needs, no, she failed. But she tried to love. It's a both and situation. Okay, you're getting somewhere if it's a both and kind of thing. If you say your mother's a goddess, the world's greatest, beautiful, divine, okay. If you do this idealization stuff, you know she gobbles you up. If you BS, You won't heal if you engage in splitting. If you engage in either or thinking, jungle slogan thinking, my greedy, your greed, this, it's because the my greedy, your greed thinking, oh boy, that's adversarial thinking, obviously, right? So when the baby's traumatized, he didn't get the feeding with the mother, so he's gonna looping it around. It's gonna call greed. Now, if he's not gonna, um, now he thinks the mother was that. He thinks the mother was greedy because if he's greedy, the mother's greedy. Faustian deal. He becomes the mother who's greedy. So if he's not going to be the mother who's greedy, he's going to be eaten by the mother. The image of his mother being like a eat or be eaten, and then he flies that image of the gobbling mother onto everybody. Thinks everybody's the gobbling mother. Eat or be eaten, he says. Jungle slogan stuff. This is linked to the time when the baby thought he was a goner if he didn't get mother's love. So splitting and persecutory anxiety, jungle slogan thinking, survival limbic system brain thinking, fight or flight response brain system. That's all. You're still there. You're still there. To get your beingness, you got to understand the mother. Um, Understanding and forgiveness are kind of synonymous. Um, and you want to now know what you couldn't back then maybe the firebird will come and you can feel now and emotionally know and feel now if you can find the third side of the coin. And Inside Out 2, the film of the year for 2024, Inside Out 2, they show you the image of that. So Riley was there struggling with the opposites. Yeah, you saw the flipping going on. Um, Anxiety side saying, I'm never good enough, I'm always a failure. The pathological joy, I'm always special, I'm perfect, I'm wonderful, it's all good, it's all good. No, it's all bad, it's all bad. So they had this, what is it? Am I guilty? Am I not guilty? What is it? She had this kind of flipping thing. So they did the group hug, hold the opposites, contain the opposites, embrace the opposites, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then a new sense of self emerged. And she got her beingness back. So the firebird came, the phoenix came. When you hold the opposites, she held the opposites, you saw the phoenix coming. Then the previous either or, Eve called in the film Three Faces of Eve, it'd be the Eve black and Eve white. The Eve black and the Eve white characters poofed away, and you got the Jane mind. Okay, the Jane mind is the new adult mind that holds the previous two either ors to a new and. The Jane is the both and, the new both and, not the old either or stuff. So in the film, The Three Faces of Eve, the daughter said, mother, when you're like Jane, I really love that. I love when you're Jane. Could you please be Jane? Could you please be Jane? You're fun. You're nice. You're wonderful. You're intelligent. I feel safe. I'm learning. I'm growing. I love it when you're Jane. Mother, could you please be Jane? I don't like it when you're Eve White because you're so gloomy and you're bringing me down. I don't like it when you're Eve Black because you're dangerous and you hurt me all the time. Could you please be Jane? Be Jane. That's the normal state of affairs. The normal state of affairs is the Jane mind. So Jane was there, and the Eve, the splitting, Eve White. See, Eve White, Eve Black. That's code for the splitting, black or white. That poofed away, and they got the Jane mind in that film. So we talked about the Three Faces of Eve film recently. Interesting discussion, yeah. So when the Jane mind appeared, the either or split off, disappeared. You got so in Inside Out 2, same thing. Okay, when the new sense of self came up, the previous part sense of selves from the either or sides disappeared. It was a new one. Okay, third side of the coin. Oh, hold on a second. I got some people passing by here. Let's wait a minute. No, it's not the smooching couple. It's just some other people here. Let's wait a minute until they pass by here. Maybe I'll dig up the song here.
Out of the borderline, somewhere between heart and mind, trying to make it through, caught in a battleground. Resistance is wearing down. Just couldn't face another day. Oh, but then you came my way, and I was saved by love. I've been lonely, where to go? I've been saved by love, and I know this love won't let me go. Facing the world alone, out there in the rain, I know. But every turn just turns out wrong. And then you came along, with hope and faith were almost gone. Gave me the strength to carry on. You are the one that I can count on, and I'm saved by love. I'm lonely, where to go? I'm saved by love. Don't let me go.
That's Rick Emmett you're hearing. Rick Emmett. Saved by understanding, saved by consciousness, saved by love. Um, Today's a somewhat disorganized video here with the interruptions like that, part one and part two here. So the last video covered a fair bit of ground. Yeah, the last video covered a fair bit of ground about the stingers and the clingers, identification with the aggressor. Actually, yeah, okay, let's do that then. Let's cover some of these quotes. Um, so now we commonly use identification with the aggressor. I mean, in the shrink jargon, identification with the aggressor, but also known as the Faustian deal, the Faustian bargain, the Faustian pact. What does the baby do when he's in so much pain? He doesn't want to always be like a passive victim of mother's abuse, mother's gaslighting, mother's double binding, mother using a baby to comfort her, mother using the baby as a proxy of her, of when she was a baby back then, and then the mother shames her baby because she's trying to remember that she had been shamed by her mother. She doesn't remember that she was shamed by her mother, so she shames her own baby in her attempt to remember that she had been shamed by her mother. So in her attempt to remember that she had been shamed by her mother, she shames her own baby, trying to remember that she had been shamed. So this poor baby's in a lot of pain like this. Or if the mother wants to protest that she had been shamed. So she tells the world, look at what my mother did to me. I'm angry at what my mother did to me. I'm in protest mode. I want to show her up. I want to expose her. Watch this, world. I'm going to cast my own baby into the role of me. I'm going to play the shaming mother, my shaming mother. Okay? So my mother shamed me. I'm going to let the baby play me. I play the shaming mother. I'm going to shame my baby the way my mother shamed me. Okay? I'm not going to meet my baby's needs because my mother didn't meet my needs. Now, who taught me this world? Who taught me this? Okay, so I'm exposing my mother. She's thinking, I want some justice here. I'm angry at what she did. So she might use the baby in her protest to show and communicate what had happened to her. Or the mother says, baby, you take care of me. I didn't get the oneness of my mother. You provide a constant source, a constant stream of narcissistic supply. You make me the center. It's going to be all about me, baby. I'm gonna. I'm always center stage. You got to take care of me and see me and attend to me and think well of me and do what I say. I don't want to feel alone. Be there for me. And if you try to be autonomous, I'll punish you. I'll withdraw. So I demand that you take care of me, baby. If the mother's doing these kinds of things, what does the baby do with with this pain? What does he do with that kind of pain? The baby could protest. Mother gaslights. Baby's in a huge double bind. Normally in pain, you go to the mother for soothing, but the mother's causing the pain, but the baby wants to go to the mother for soothing, but the mother's causing the pain. Yikes. Huge double bind, right? So what does the baby do with all this pain? It's too much pain. When there's too much pain for the baby like this, okay, temptation, okay? If it crosses over like that, that's the Faustian deal. Fine, I'll be you. I'll be you. I won't be me. I'll be just like you. I identify myself as you. I'll be you. I'll identify with you because you want the fusion with me. And I got to have a mother. So the deal is, I got to treat myself the way you treated me. You sold out my soul. So I got to sell out my soul to have a connection to you. So I'll sell my soul to have your power. I'll be the aggressor to me. I'll sell my soul, but I'm the aggressor. Whoa, what a perverse, disturbed Faustian deal. Okay, so you get the baby, it's going to act like the mother, meaning he'll be the active one shaming himself instead of just sitting there being shamed by the mother. I'll shame myself. I got some power now, but he's got to shame himself for that power. Oh my God. So the dilemma in this situation is to not know, to not feel that he's shaming and hating himself. He's got to find proxies to stand in for him and shame them. So he needs people to shame and hate so he doesn't feel that he's shaming and hating himself. Enter scapegoating, externalized living, projection living, outer living like that. So he's always got to find others to represent him, whom he's going to shame, to make him unaware that he's shaming and hating himself. He is shaming and hating himself. That's the Faustian deal. But to not be aware of it, he finds others to show. There's that little bird. Get him in. It's hard to get that bird in the camera. So. Interesting bird. He's got, brownish, grayish feathers and all that. But he's got this shiny blue beak. And when he flies, the color of his feathers from the underside are vibrant black and white, but it's all gray on the surface. I'm not sure. I think he's called the spotted dove. I'm not sure. Spotted dove. Okay, where are we here? Okay. So the swan is bouncing back and forth between me and the drunk couple at the other end. So the swans are saying to themselves, "Let's go visit the drunk couple. Oh no, let's go visit the compiler of 1001 Windmills of the mind, intellectual ideas. Let's listen in. Um, oh, that's boring. Let's go watch the couple." Okay, where are we here? Still, it's cooling off a little bit. Thank God it rained. That I closed the umbrella. It was raining a little bit. It stopped now. Yeah, good. Good timing. Okay, so not all babies do this. Not all babies do this. If they're loved until that hump of the 18-month point, they're good. They don't need to do it anymore. They can be themselves. Now they may be themselves, but they may be frozen post 18 months, but prior to 36 months, they're in that rapprochement phase where they're childlike, they're wounded, but they hold on to their soul. But the problem is they're always going to feel pain because they're going to find others to shame them the way they were shamed because they're trying to know them, others shame them, so they pick others who will shame them. If you won't leave me, I'll find somebody who will. Let's play that song by Warren Zevon. Here's a short little song by the singer Warren Zevon.
Every look out your window, babe. Wonder what was going down in the street below. I where the forest blow. Ever stand at the crossroads, babe? No, it didn't really matter which road you chose. Heaven knows. I'm a refugee from the mansion on the hill. And if you want to leave me, I'll find somebody who will.
So I'm going to borrow that song a little bit for here. So um, the mother rejected him or abandoned him, whatever, or left him, whatever. So he goes through life choosing women who will abandon him, reject him, leave him. So he plays the masochistic victim, childlike victim. The partner is the mother who did that. So the girlfriends will leave him. So he chooses that. Now, one day he was under a lot of stress. Then he regressed back and temporarily made the Faustian deal where he left her to get rid of her because she wouldn't leave, and then go back to the regular place where he'd find women who will leave him. If you won't leave me, I'll find someone who will. So, right? So, post 18 months. So, this singer's, the psychology is mainly post 18 months. Mother left him, so he doesn't really leave. He just finds others who will leave him. He may entice it and coax it, but he wants to recreate it. One woman said, "No, I'm going to stay." He freaked out. Uh, he can't just forget about the anger what his mother did and love a woman in the present. He's betraying his feelings. He doesn't have the psychic structure to love and mutuality. He's not there yet. So he freaked out with immense pain. He went back to the paranoid schizoid mode, crossed over, he dumped her, okay, and then went back to the regular place of finding women who will dump him. If you won't leave me, I'll find somebody who will.
Ever look out your window, babe? Wonder what was going down in the street below. I where the forest blow. Ever stand at the crossroads, babe? No, it didn't really matter which road you chose. Heaven knows. I'm a refugee from the mansion on the hill. And if you want to leave me, I'll find somebody who will.
Again,
Ever look out your window, babe? Wonder what was going down in the street below. I where the forest blow. Ever stand at the crossroads, babe? No, it didn't really matter which road you chose. Heaven knows. I'm a refugee from the mansion on the hill. And if you want to leave me, I'll find somebody who will.
So if the trauma is post 18 months, they didn't cross over like that. They don't shame others or reject others, hurt others. They just find someone who will hurt them. So Those are the clingers and the pleasers and the caretakers and the helpers and all that. They're afraid of their autonomy. They're afraid of full activation. They're still childlike. They're still waiting for a parent to guide them like that, the missing father to guide them and protect them and show them and teach them. They're still childish like that. So they still got it. They still have a kind of a hope. They're disappointed. They're going to fail a little bit like that. Um, but they don't hurt others. They don't hurt others. They look a little foolish and all that. They're easily tricked or deceived, and they believe easily like that. So they're still in the original childlike place. Now, trauma prior to 18 months, the pain is so great, they can't hold on to their soul. They make the Faustian deal, the Faustian bargain. They'll sell their soul, forget about that stuff, and be the aggressor, be the mother. So um, if others show any vulnerability, feelings, the quote unquote human side of being human, okay, honesty, trust, whatever, they got to mock it, shame it, hate it, belittle it, because that's them. They're selling other people's soul to make them unaware that they're selling their own soul. That's the Faustian, one way to describe the Faustian deal. So we got a few quotes sort of on this general theme of the Faustian bargain, the Faustian pact. So let's run through some of them here. Okay. Uh, One man's quote, a Faustian bargain articulates the unconscious trade-off that the child makes with the pathologically introjected mother. The child must look after and sacrifice his autonomous difference and ownership of self in exchange for a promise of apparent endless security. You see, if he's going to be the mother, he's got mother's power and it's endless, no time. He lives forever. That part of the brain is timeless, no time, eternal, lives forever. These phrases like eternal and endless and timeless, if that's code for that part of the brain doesn't know time. Okay, just like iguanas don't know time, that swan doesn't know time. Okay, that part of the brain doesn't know time. So he gets mother's power and lives forever, they say. He's got mother's power and security, but he's got to sell a soul. No autonomy, no initiative, no beingness, no feelings, no growth, no happiness, no mourning, no joy, no nothing. He's just power driven, right? So again, Lefebvre's 1988 quote, Faustian bargain articulates the unconscious trade-off that a child makes with the pathologically introjected mother. The child must look after. The mother wants the child to take care of her. The mother is looking for supply. So the mother says, baby, you got to meet my needs. My mother didn't meet my needs. You meet my needs, baby. Now he's got to take, and this is internalized, it's introjected, it's going on within like this. Intrapsychic. Again, the Faustian bargain articulates the unconscious trade-off that a child makes with the pathologically introjected mother. The child must look after and sacrifice his autonomous difference. So no beingness, no individuation, no real self, no authentic self, no golden ball, no beingness. He's got to sacrifice it all. That's the soul. He's got to sacrifice his soul, sell out his soul, give away his soul to stay, um, um, to be the mother and have mother's power, and he lives forever. So sacrifices autonomous difference and ownership of self. Ownership of self. He can't have it himself, his authentic self. He's got to sacrifice his ownership of self. That's the same as selling your soul. Same thing. In exchange for a promise of apparent endless security. So he feels a little safe if he's going to be the mother. So that's his only sense of safety. He's got to shame others, and he feels one with the mother. So he has a mother. So he feels safe because he has a mother. Because he is the mother. That's the Faustian deal, right? A Faustian pact described by Rosenfeld, 64, in which those who wish to join the omnipotent position, the mother's the all-powerful omnipotent position, are required to relinquish their ability to remain in touch with their inner world, paucity of inner experiences, emotional poverty. They won't be in touch with their inner world. That's why they're externalizing living, externalize living, external. They can't. It's too painful to focus on themselves. It's too painful to make an I statement and speak the truth and say how you feel or whatever. It's too painful. Um, and the emotions that make them human. Yeah. Again, a Faustian pact described by Rosenfeld, 64, in which those who wish to join the omnipotent position, the mother, are required to relinquish their ability to remain in touch with their inner world and the emotions that make them human. We live to the extent that we feel. They become as if hypnotized, as if, quote, robotized, like a robot. And they act and react without vision and without insight. Under the compliance of the myth, a Faustian deal is struck within the unconscious, promising future rewards for continued compliance. The story of Faust is a reminder of the powerful fascination of narcissistic omnipotent completeness, lured by the false belief that Faust could get away with it and not have to reckon with his unconscious. See that back to Forbidden Planet. They ignored the Forbidden Planet. They ignored the unconscious. The Krell people totally ignored the unconscious. They were goners. The first ship team, all of those members ignored the unconscious, and they were goners. Only Mr. Morbius and his wife respected the unconscious. And then the new crew came on the scene, and they were going to be goners as well. Now, poor Morbius had to sacrifice himself to save his daughter in the end, right? We unconsciously attempt to attain safety in romantic love by entering into a Faustian bargain in which we exchange passion for security. But this Faustian bargain, the exchange of passion for security, turns out to be a Faustian swindle. We find that the security we have purchased is illusionary. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Anybody with the stinger personality pattern, the bully pattern, Iago pattern, the various narcissistic pattern, all these stinger personality patterns where they crossed over, made the Faustian deal, they think they're safe. They forget about love and life and trust and feeling and play and generativity, spontaneity, growing up, being an adult, being an elder. I sound like George Carlin. I think I'm moving. Oh my God. I've been watching too many George Carlin clips. I just thought of George Carlin there, the way he talks quickly like that. Again, what was it again? We unconsciously attempt to attain safety in romantic love by entering into a Faustian bargain in which we exchange passion for security. But this Faustian bargain, the exchange of passion for safety, turns out to be a Faustian swindle. We find that the security we have purchased is illusionary. So, yes, those are the stinger personality patterns. They have an illusionary, dreamlike bubble fantasy that they're a god and they're safe because they're a god. But they got to sacrifice everything else. They got to sacrifice love, beingness, mourning, okay, generativity, play. They say things like, "Seen one tree, seen them all." You've seen one swan, you've seen one fountain. Like, they don't care about feeling or nature, and they don't. Um, my greed or your greed. They're just that's the so-called patriarch, the negative patriarch. Just power. Forget about feelings. There's a huge split. So they're in relationships. There's no affection in the intimacy. So they might have a huge split um, in that area. So if they're married, there won't be a warm connection. Um, that can lead to the famous split. So they might have mistresses. It's all physical but no love, and the partner, there's no physical. So they split it like that. They can't unite heart and body. So they can be promiscuous and playboys and Don Juans and playgirls and Donna Juanas and that kind of thing. That maintains the split if you engage in split, right? Physical intimacy without love intimacy, that maintains the split. So they're going to have it's split living. There won't be love in their romantic living. Right? There won't be that warm golden ball feeling and all that radiance like that. So when the child crosses over and thinks he's going to be the mother, he's got an illusionary sense of safety. Um, you're dealing with the trauma memory. That's your safety, the trauma memory. Your mother hurt you. You're going to be the hurting mother in your mind. You're going to act like her. That's a safety? You got to be kidding. How are you safe if you got to sell your soul all the time? How is that safety? It's not real. It's sad. It's a sad thing, right? Let's get Mr. Spock to play the Requiem for when Spock plays the piano at this point. As Bouchard demonstrates, pathological narcissism is addictive and, like the Faustian bargain, difficult to relinquish because it promises respite from overwhelming anxieties. Oh, yeah, it's a defense against anxiety. It's a defense against the pain of getting in touch with the feelings. It brings up a lot of pain. That's anxiety. Okay? Old fears being triggered up now, it's called anxiety. You don't want to feel those old fears, i.e., anxiety. So to not feel and push back those old anxiety fears, well, you just stay in the narcissistic Faustian narcissistic bubble that you'll be constantly cynical, sarcastic, envious, bitter, envy, greed, okay? Can't mourn, can't love, no tenderness, cynical, just all like that. And you may cloak it over with whatever poetic talk, or an advanced vocabulary, or hypnotic vocabulary, or pompous hypnotic vocabulary with lots of words to spellbound people. That's all a cloak. And then you're very good at lying. A half truth is the father of many lies. You know, the way to lie and deceive is to include maybe throwing a few crumbs of truth. You got all these tricks. You're a master at rhetoric. You're a master of propaganda, PR tricks, advertising tricks. You're very intuitive in this area because it's a question of survival. You're lying. It's always survival. Just like how a child lies to if he's afraid. Well, he's doing the same kind of thing. Is that it? Okay, that's it for the phrase, the Faustian pact, the Faustian bargain. They alternate it. They alternate between pact, bargain, and deal. Okay, so for Mr. Le Viver, not sure how you pronounce his name. It's it's the fifth one down, 1988. Okay, so for this French author here, 1988. Okay, his understanding of it is that the Faustian bargain means or articulates the unconscious trade-off that the child makes with an impaired mother, now in his mind, whom the child must now look after and take care of and please and be loyal to and constantly try to save and constantly try to placate, constantly try to win her love, constantly make her the center, constantly taking care of this memory inside of you, and then your outer behavior will reflect that. And he's got to sacrifice his soul. He's got to sacrifice ownership of self. The mother owns him. The mother thinks the baby is a property that belongs to her. So he loses his ownership because the mother thinks she owns the baby. Mother's rights, I own this baby. My prop. Oh, whoa, right? I got the staff just in front of me here. Hold on a second. Again, okay, Le Febre's Faustian bargain, quote unquote, articulates the unconscious trade-off that a child makes with the pathologically introjected mother. Okay, like now it's a ghost, right? Shadow voices from another era, even from the nursery time. Shadow voices from the nursery time. The introjected mother, the mother in your head, the mother in your mind. the child must look after again and again, and he's got to sacrifice his soul, his individuation, his uniqueness, who he'd be had he been loved. He won't become who he was meant to become because the mother owns him. This ghost in his head owns him. He's got to sacrifice ownership of himself. And now, in exchange for this, attachment theory. He's got a mother in his head. He's got a mother. A huge cost, right? It's really sad when mothers hurt their babies. They're cursed, the babies. Now at midlife, this curse comes to your attention. Then you do the audit, you do the midlife audit, the midlife examination period. You do a survey of oneself. You do what this lawyer did in the first quote here. There was a lawyer who sacrificed his wealth for this. He says, there is a time in every person's life when one needs to step back and take an audit or a survey of oneself and make a course correction of one's life journey. A conclusion, I realized I could impact things simply by becoming the person I was meant to be. So he gave up $1 million lifestyle or driving fancy car. He gave it all up so he can move towards and become the person he was meant to be. Not this bitter, greedy scam of feeling entitled to deceive because mother deceived him, he deceives others, and then he gets their money because he's greedy and he deceives. And this kind of perverse stuff. So I'm assuming he was engaged. Yeah, he said his lawyering was sort of unethical, kind of boring. He was engaged in a kind of it made him money, but it was unethical, I think. I didn't read his full story. Okay, back to the Faustian bargain. Again, le fe, oh, feb, le feb years, le feb years. Oh, there it is. Is that right? Le feb years. Are there any French speakers around? Anybody know French? Le feb years, le febueuse, le febueuse, le feboise, le feboise. How's that? Le feboise. Let's try that. Le feboise. What's his first name? I don't know. Le feboise. 1988 quote, Faustian bargain articulates the unconscious trade-off the child makes with the pathologically introjected mother the child must look after and sacrifice his autonomous difference and ownership of self in exchange, Faustian deal, in exchange for a promise of apparent endless security. He's got no life. He's got no feelings. He's got no connection to his beingness. He's got no heart-based living. He's got no heart loving. So of course he can be a lawyer, these negative lawyers like that. Another French person, as Bouchard demonstrates, this pathological narcissism is addictive and, like the Faustian bargain, difficult to relinquish. It's addictive, right? Because it promises respite from overwhelming anxieties. When you heal, it's going to bring up anxieties. That's called suffering through, working through. So you need knowledge to help you. You need a caring witness to help you to face this positive suffering. Otherwise, you're in this negative suffering. We unconsciously attempt to attain safety in romantic love by entering into a Faustian bargain in which we exchange passion for security. This Faustian bargain, the exchange of passion or life or love, feeling for safety, turns out to be a Faustian swindle. All Faustian deals are Faustian swindles, of course. We find that the security we have purchased is illusionary. Under the terms of the myth, a Faustian deal is struck with the unconscious, within the unconscious, promising future rewards for continued compliance. So I guess part of this persuasion is that, yes, be like your mother, don't be yourself, regard everyone as your no good you and shame them the way your mother shamed you, and maybe one day you'll get some benefit. By the time you wake up, it's often Well, when you wake up, it's at midlife, and you, oh my God, I made this swindle. I was bamboozled. Mother, you bamboozled me. Oh my God, mother, you bamboozled me. Oh man. Okay, and that's the anger stage of the grief process. The 5 stages of grief includes anger. So there will be a period of time where you're angry at your mother for bamboozling you. Booze, yeah, booze. Alcohol, booze, right? Bamboozle. Maybe she was bamboozled. She was in a trance. So she, because she was drunk. Uh, okay. The story of Faust is a reminder of the powerful fascination of narcissistic omnipotent completeness, lured by the false belief that Faust could get away with it and not have to reckon with nature, with Vesvito, right? Nature, unconscious. Meaning the unconscious. In this context, I think it means the unconscious. Well, that's the one by Bouchard. All right. Okay, and the last one here on the topic. A Faustian pact described by Rosenfeld 64, in which those who wish to join the omnipotent position, mean the baby is in the vulnerable passive one, the helpless, vulnerable passive one. The mother's the omnipotent, powerful one. That position, that's you cross over, you become her. Forget about yourself. You see others as you and shame them the way your mother shamed you. That's the story of Faust is a reminder of the powerful fascination of narcissistic omnipotent completeness, lured by the false belief that Faust. Oh, we did this one already. Oh, sorry. Okay, next one. Oh, try not to get people. Oh, somebody's really dressed up in a very fairy tale kind of. She looks like she's belongs in a kids film or something. Are they filming a kids movie here? Okay. Oh, she's really inspired by some kind of I don't know. It totally reminds me of some kind of children's film of some kind. Okay, last one here. A Faustian pact. A Faustian pact described by Rosenfeld 64, in which those who wish to join the omnipotent position are required to relinquish their ability to remain in touch with their inner world and the emotions that make them human. So the quote unquote more human side of being human, they're going to give that up. They'll take the lesser side of being human, i.e., jungle slogans, survival slogans, jungle slogans, my greed or your greed, and they are hypnotized, robotized, Robbie the robot, robotized. They had robots in. Yeah, what the id monster, the Tasmanian devil monster, was in Forbidden Planet. They had a robot in the Star Trek one. So in the Star Trek one, the guy there um, tolerated, um, Kirk flirting with his girlfriend, or whatever, let's say, but his unconscious hated it. So a robot was materialized, made by the unconscious anger he had, and that robot attacked. Okay, just a little kid passing by here. Okay, I just a lady with her little kid just passed by. Again, I wonder if I should move here. Oh, oh, it's filling up here. Oh, I see. Oh, it's too good to be true. Yeah, this is now this is normal now. Now it's packing. Now it's filling in. Let me see if I can go back to my regular spot. Let me finish this. Oh yeah, hypnotized and robotized. They act without inner vision, without inner insight. They're like a robot. They're like a hypnotized robot. Look at that, eh? Wow, wow, wow. So people who are narcissists and Don Juans and bully pattern, they're like hypnotized robots. Well, quote unquote, robotized, automatic, compulsion, constraint, cyclops, compulsion. Because it's the limbic system that all their energy is in the survival brain. The feeling mind brain is frozen, so everything goes there, and that energy in there is called the id. So what you feel in there, you personify like the robot, that's or the Tasmanian devil, that's from the feeling in there, the id. Monsters of the id, they mean. Id monsters, monsters of the id monsters. It comes from there. The id is all that energy in the trauma memory. So when Mr. Flint unconsciously hated it how Kirk was flirting with his girlfriend, let's say, this robot materialized and tried to attack him, just like in Forbidden Planet. Okay, when the wolf, when the sky wolf, they called him the sky wolf, the playboy, uh, flirted with the daughter. The father was angry, and the id monster attacked him. Same idea. But they did that to teach you that those monsters are not external things. Their manifestations are code for how you feel. But if you say others are so bad, it's Mr. Spock, and you play the piano. They're teaching you. It's educational. The Forbidden Planet and that Star Trek episode is teaching you. And these Twilight Zone episodes, the comic psychoanalysis, all this shrink material, it's teaching you that it's within. Man in the mirror, it's within. The beast, Joni Mitchell, the beast is within, she kept saying. She said the beasts, these monsters, these whatever, they're within. She said it herself. Let me take a peek at the. Oh, they're still there. Huh? Oh, they're still there. Can you believe it? Wow. Well, that's one drunk. Maybe I can just move over here. There's no breeze here. I'm gonna start sweating if I come here. Well, since we're here, hey, here's the. We're getting him in. There's one of the peacocks here. That's the other one down there. A bunch of rabbits and doves. There's the dove. One of the doves. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move it over here. Let me bring a chair. Yeah, let's just do it right here. That's okay. Yeah. Give me a couple of minutes to pack up my stuff. going to work for a bit. Um, okay, let's finish up here and then. Okay, let's leave it for the Faustian phrase. But the shrink jargon is identification with the aggressor. Wow, wow. Can't be yourself. You got to be the aggressor. Who's the aggressor? The memory of your mother hurting you, and that's you now, being like her. What she did to you, you do that to yourself. Find others to play you, do it to them. Yikes. So forbidden. Yeah. Okay. Let's do the next one here. Um, okay. When there's trauma, we repeat repetition compulsion. In analysis, the repetition of the past always occurs in the context of a new relationship in which there is an attempt to negotiate a different outcome. You want to change the past, undo the past, correct the past. So the one theory is we repeat thinking, can we get a better past? Can I have a past where mother loved me? Like, like that. Um, but that's not going to work. Uh, but that's what you're grasping for. That because you're still at that place. There's no time there. All time, it's all the time like that. So the positive intention is that when you repeat, it's your system's attempt to make you know what happened in the past. You repeat it to remember. Then when you remember, you stop repeating. In analysis, the repetition of the past always occurs in the context of a new relationship in which there is an attempt to negotiate a different outcome. At the same time, the current analytic situation is always framed by past paradigms. So the present's still the past. So how can, you're expecting the past, you're creating the past, to know the past, you're demanding the past in the present. So how are you going to get a better past? There's no time machines. That phrase about I won't. I'll pack that up here. We have a song about from Katie Lee, Shrinker Man. Just make it easy. Just say some magic words. No, psychoanalysis is not a magic breast. Magic words, magic breast. But one guy coming to what he thought was the magic breast of psychoanalysis. He came for many months because he so earnestly wished it to be so. Oh, I gotta play Katie Lee's song here. Geez, Shrinker Man. That's too awkward here. Okay, next time. So he wanted it to be. He wanted it to be. Um, he didn't want to be active and think like a shrink. He didn't want to be analytic or conscious. He just kept coming. Come on, Shrinker Man, say your interpretations. I want to be healed by your magic words here. Doesn't work like that. You got to be conscious. Then you heal. You're not conscious. It's not going to work. Okay, this next one here. Okay, so we're not. Okay, this next quote. It's not about going to a beautiful place. You had a nice time. You saw a nice place. Took some photos. Nice memory. We're not talking about that kind of thing. We all go to scenes of natural beauty and all that. That's fine. I also want to find a nice place to do a video or something. We're not talking about that. So here we go. Um, if somebody does go to a beautiful place and they manage to merge psychologically, psychically with that beautiful place, and they feel a kind of a blissful feeling, an ecstatic, blissful oneness with that natural scenery, okay, then this is a defense against the pain of your life. This is a desire for fusion to avoid your current problems. It's a regression back to that merging time with the mother, this reunion like that, feelings of unison with the universe are derivative of a re-merger with the mother in an archaic state of blissful oneness. So maybe that couple, maybe they're getting drunk and all that. They're trying to create this archaic, blissful state of narcissism. Such a desire for fusion with the world may even function as a way to deal with uh, any unpleasant feelings that you have in your life. Um, so the person negates by an acceptance a virtual union with everything and everybody. Oh man, we're all one. Oh wow, blissful, we're all one. We're all one. Maybe something like that. The universe and humanity may also symbolize the mother. We're one with the universe. We're one. This kind of ecstatic, blissful feeling that you create. If you're in a beautiful scene, maybe you're drunk a little bit, maybe you're tired, you fall down and you see the beautiful mountains and the beautiful meadows and the beautiful sky, just surrounded to just right, no interruptions, no noise, no music, you're alone. Maybe you're in this beautiful, like this natural scene kind of place on a cliff or whatever, or I don't know, some beautiful scenery. Is it Ha Long Bay? Is that right? In Vietnam, Ha Long. I've never been there. Those or like the mountains or the canyons, or whatever, the hills. So you may get some kind of an attempt that you may stimulate some feelings of the memories of when you were in a blissful remerger with the mother. And the beautiful scene can trigger that. So you hope for a beautiful scenery, safe, big, vast, powerful, omnipotent, right? Right? That's the mother, baby mother. Right? From the baby's point of view, the mother's this big, powerful, omnipotent Grand Canyon, Grand Falls, Grand this, Grand that, right? So you go to one of these grand places, it might trigger that blissful reunion with the mother. So when people, maybe it's like that. Um, and now maybe you, and now maybe you think, so it's a respite from your life. It's a break from your life to regress, to bring up those feelings. So the beautiful natural scenery maybe just manages to trigger up the blissful time when you were one with the mother. If a big, powerful, grand scene in nature might just somehow stimulate or trigger or bring up the blissful feelings you had when you were one with the mother. I don't know. And then if you get those feelings and you, wow, one with it all, just like in the uterus. Oh, they're together, the two swans. Not swans, peacocks. Sorry. Oh, they're a little jumpy, these guys, huh? Did you drink some coffee? Are we getting them in? I can't tell if I'm getting them in the camera, but I'm just randomly pointing. Oh, all right. This one just did a leap. Um, yeah, she's really having fun. What movie is that? She's dressing up like a character from a film. Maybe it's Alice in Wonderland. Is it Alice in Wonderland? Maybe it's Alice in Wonderland. Maybe it's that one. Dorothy? Is it Dorothy? No, not Dorothy. She's dressing up like a famous film character, I think. Undoubtedly, feelings of unison with the universe, as Freud postulated, are derivative of a remerger with the mother in an archaic state of blissful narcissism. Still recording? Okay. Dynamically, this beatific union can also represent an individual's defensive attempt to transcend the painful limitness of his oneness by totally merging with everything that exists. The experience may represent a restitutive act which undoes a previous unconscious withdrawal from ambivalently experienced love objects. Such a desire for fusion with the world may even function as a reaction formation to deal with anger at people or yourself or with everybody, which the individual negates by an acceptance of everybody. Okay, so if you're angry at people and you get the union, then you love everybody. So you're doing the opposite, right? If you really hate your boyfriend or girlfriend or something, and you get this blissful thing, then you love them, right? So let's say hypothetically that couple over there, they hate each other. I don't know. But let's just say any couple. Let's say they don't like each other, but they get blasted, and they feel the blissful union. Then they love everybody. Then they love each other. If they love everything and everybody, then they're going to love their partner. But without the alcohol, they might hate. They might hate. So it's going to be that they call that reaction formation. They really hate each other, but when they're drunk, they love everything. So they love everything. So they love them. It's a reaction formation. Um, the universe and humanity may also symbolize the mother, whose infinite control can only be mastered by and through a fusion now under the control of the subject. And you think you can control the mother now, maybe. Yeah, with the magic cigarette and the bottle of beer and the wine, you control the mother. So you feel important, you feel powerful. I'm going to control mother now. I'm going to get the blissful oneness. This addictive trigger mechanism, this fill-in for the missing breast, it's going to give me the blissful feelings. I control this mother. I control the breast. I get that what I wanted. So you feel important like that. That's a point made by Ullman and Paul in their book called Narcissism Wonderland, and by Roger Gould, and by okay. Let's check the time again. Let's see what time is it. 4:38. Okay, so we've got about an hour still left. Yeah, I got here early this time. Yeah, okay. Okay, next one. Next one. Coming up in the next two videos will be a very interesting theory by two guys uh, about self-defeating behavior. So they have a book about self-defeating behavior, um, and they regard that as an umbrella term, and there are subcategories or subdivisions within the general theme of self-defeating behavior. So we self-sabotage our happiness in different ways. One of the ways they focus on, that their book is about, is on one of those ways, and one of those ways they refer to as pyrrhic revenge. That's their term, pyrrhic revenge. If you think hurting yourself hurts someone else, and you want to hurt someone else, but you got to hurt yourself to hurt that other person, that's a pyrrhic revenge. You're self-defeating because all you want is revenge on the person, even if it costs you your own happiness. So if you sacrifice and self-defeat, but it bothers them, that's what you want. That's a pyrrhic revenge. So they focus on that kind of thing. In the Nashville show, the couple broke up, and he was bitter at the girl for dumping him. So he was hurting himself, thinking to get back at her. And she caught it and said to him, "Look, ex-boyfriend, don't try to hurt me by hurting yourself." He was doing the pyrrhic revenge thing. A burglar has a quote from a guy who was drinking booze and all that, and the mother was noticing this. And the mother said to the guy, you know, he's an adult, right? The mother said, you know, it kind of makes me uncomfortable when I see you drinking booze like this. I feel pain like this. Oh, you do? He drank more, he drank more, he drank more because he wanted to hurt her. He learned that she hated it. She felt pain to see him drinking booze. So he drank more booze to give her more pain because he hated her. Back off, mother. Get revenge at mother. Go away, mother. The way to do it is to hurt himself. That's called pyrrhic revenge. Their term, synonymous term with self-defeating behavior is self-handicapping. I don't like this phrase of theirs, but they call it self-handicapping. Self-handicapping works in one of two ways. By them finding, okay, this is, I'm a step back. This is more general. Let me step back here. This is a more general comment here. All right. By finding or creating impediments that make successful performance less likely, or by withdrawing effort in order to invite probable failure. Either way, the validity of subsequent evaluations is obscured, and self-defeaters' true abilities cannot be assessed because external factors such as mask those abilities. So some people don't want to give it their best. They protect that. I'm not going to give it my best. So I'm going to fail here. Well, let me set it up in advance. Some excuses that I'll give myself later on when things fail. So let me do these things now, so that I'll blame those things and protect my potential. I don't want to expose my potential then fail. I want to protect that. So so let's say he starts a he opens up a shop. Let's say he opens up a business. Now, if he were to give his best, give his all, and he fails, I would devastate him. So maybe he thinks it's better to sabotage the business, so then he can say, well, it's due to these other factors that he created, not him. Okay, so self-handicappers, um, they find ways, they create impediments uh, that invite the failure. So, um, so it's going to be obscured. So later on, when they analyze, why did the business fail? Everything's obscured. Everything's obscured. That allows them to blame the thing, to blame something else for its failure. They do this to mask their abilities. By creating this judgmental ambiguity, the self-defeater succeeds in preserving the favorable competence image that existed before the evaluation. Yeah, so they want to protect their competent image that they have. Amazing, eh? You got such cute little kids, and they can grow up to see the potential, right? Children are born innocent and all that. They're born trusting and all that. But then the mother, something hurts them, then they're stuck with this negative imprint, and all their energy is on the pain, recreating it. Children need to be protected and guided. Children deserve a happy babyhood time. Um, at the very least, give them a natural birth, loboyer birth, gentle birth, a proper birth, you know. And if there are problems, the mother can compensate if she can reestablish the blissful union. Many mothers fail in that because if there's too much birth trauma, the baby won't trust her. Um, so mothers have to, in advance, minimize the chance of birth trauma. So there's a body material about this, like what position should she take when she's delivering. On YouTube, there's a physiotherapist giving advice to women, just giving them the options, just letting them know the options. If she squats, she can tilt back the tailbone if she squats, allowing more space uh, to cooperate with gravity, and the space and the gravity, it allows a smooth outpouring. But if she's on the back, she cannot tilt back the tailbone. You lose the gravity. Sometimes they elevate the legs, right, or something. So you lose the gravity. And I got this yanking and pulling. The baby's hitting himself on the tailbone. Mother's in pain, clenching. Give me pills. Baby's flooded with the pills, and the pills go into the baby's brain. What a mess. So I think the birth is a huge one. But if there are problems at the birth, leave the cord, leave the placenta, hand the baby to the bosom, and the mother can heal it. The mother can heal it. But if you sever the cord and the placenta after the birth trauma, unlikely. Unlikely. So this is Otto Rank. He's the guy that sort of started this. Well, no, not really. Other people have, but Otto Rank gave it a huge boost, saying that birth trauma is the real issue is birth trauma. The real thing we should be talking about is birth trauma. And Yanof sort of picked up on it as well. So Otto Rank and Yanof and others, Francis Mott and a bunch of others. But that kid I saw pass by looked really kind of trusting and innocent. Just beginning to walk, maybe like I don't know, maybe like 6 months old or 7 months old or something. Where are we here? The unique self-defeating style of self-handicappers has been called the Faustian bargain after the literary figure made famous by Goethe. Goethe. Like Faust, many self-handicappers make a bargain, in their case, seeking to protect their competence images in the present and worry about the consequences of their strategic self-defeating behavior later. So Faust made the deal, right? Oh, worry about it later, worry about it later. Um, if I don't self-activate, well, I could do it later. But but that later, it's usually too late. Oh, so you were swindled, the Faustian swindle. So in this case, they wanted to protect their image, and later they'll be successful. He means it like that. Moreover, they often see the consequences of their bargain as reversible. Yeah, oh, yeah, I can change anytime I want. Yeah, okay. They can always stop the self-defeating behavior sometime in the future, they believe, and their abilities will once again shine through. Regardless of what handicapping agent is used, be it alcohol or any other um, self-defeating substance or activity that, quote, made you do it, unquote. A famous comedian, oh, the devil made me do it, he always said. The goal is to find justifications other than the self for personal shortcomings. Another bad quote here. So maybe that's the positive intention of people always blaming, oh, this, it's not nothing wrong with me. It's because of that. It's because of that. Hold a second. Oh, they're coming back around here. They seem to be walking in circles here. Okay, where are we here? Well, yeah, this is a very kid. This is a very family-friendly place. They got the birds, the kids, and all that. Okay, where are we here? Okay, and then coming up in the next videos, let's see, 6, yes, the next one, we get into it more deeply, the thing about firework revenge. So one form of self-defeating behavior is what I mentioned before, the firework revenge one. And then, do we have another one? 7? Yeah, 6, no, just that one. Okay, it's coming up. Yeah, okay, that's it. 47 is Solani. Yeah, he's a solid author, David Solani. So Solani's coming up. So in 46, we'll get into these two guys, um, Berglaz and Baumeister in 46, and then in 47 we'll get into David Solani. He's a solid one. But their theory about the Pyrrhic revenge is interesting. That some people don't care about what happens to them. They want this. They want the psychological idea. Well, I got back up my mother. You know, it kind of reminds me of that football film. Not a very good film. The longest is it the longest yard? Is that right? Um, there was like a game between a football game or something. One guy did an illegal move or something, and he got severely punished. But there was some kind of psychological fantasies of revenge. Was it worth it? You know, psychologically says, yeah, man, that's a fire revenge. He had to pay an immense price for this little get even kind of thing. It was like this is psychological. I think it's the original Longest Yards film, the football film with Burt Reynolds. Or something. That might be a good example of fire revenge, right? So he's self-defeating, very self-defeating for him, right? He lost, I don't know, half his life, or I don't know, whatever it was. I forgot. I mentioned in part one that this idea about hyper-rationalization, hyper-intellectualization, hyper-active here. This is dangerous if there's no feelings. So one example is this one here, the neem tree. For over 2,000 years, components of the neem tree, N as in Nancy, double E, M as in Mary, neem, ancient medicinal herbal tree. For over 2,000 years, components of the neem tree have been used by farmers as a pesticide. It can do many things, including a natural herbal pesticide. For 2,000 years, these farmers dealt with the pests using some part of the neem tree, traditional herbal way of doing it. But in 1992, some company came in with a name I won't mention. They decided to patent it. Having patented it, they claimed to be the legal owners of all such uses of the neem tree. Whoa. And if any farmer then used the neem tree as a pesticide on his own plot of land, then he was breaking the law and would be sued by this company. This kind of biopiracy is only able to take place because the procedures and protocols of patent law are hyper-rationalization. So their argument was, oh, that's all anecdotal. That's all anecdotal. Did you do any kind of specific lab, some specific scientific lab that this herb from the tree can be used like that? Did you prove it? Did you show it? Did you have documentation like that? What are you talking about? I learned it from my great grandmother. We've been doing it for 2,000 years like that. Oh no, but you didn't do it like in a lab, right? Like in a with papers, with microscopes and things. Oh no. Well, then it doesn't count. It's all anecdotal. It's all hearsay. It's all rumor. It's all gossip. Gossip. We're talking about gossip for 2,000. No. Well, hyper rationalization. Patent law says you didn't do the thing in the lab. Since you didn't do it, we can then patent it. And then they sued all those farmers, and half of them, all these miseries and terrible stories like that. Unbelievable, right? So that was he was just giving that as an example of hyper rationalization, hyper excusism, and this is needed in the pillage and the plunder. When we're plundering when they're plundering a planet, you got to keep it in the head like that. He calls it hyper rationalization. Forget about feelings and the reality, the ethics and the morality and the common sense that farmers have been doing it for 2,000 years. It's trees on their own land, it's trees in their own country, and some outsider comes, no, copyright's ours. You can't use it. You do it, we fine you, we take your farm, and they lose everything. So it's just part of the pillage and the plunder. Sad stuff, eh? I don't know the current status of what's going on now, but I didn't look into it. And that company changed its name by the looks of it. So yeah, his theory was it's a that was a while ago. This hyper rationalization is part of the plundering. He said he was trying to make a link between this hyper rationalization and that's part of the plundering. If you can use tricky ideas all the time, you can plunder and plunder because most people have feelings. If you don't have feelings, then you plunder. People have feelings, well, you can plunder them. So trauma prior to 18 months, there'll be the stingers like that. Trauma post 18 months, they still have some feelings. So they don't. Maybe I should get going here. Eh? It's getting busy. I smell some. I think I smell some kind of paint here. There's some kind of painting going on here. So. Oh, the cooing. Can you hear the cooing? The birds? No, you don't hear background noises, right? Strange thing about this phone. Um, I don't like this audio system they have here. When I play it back, it's all muffled and wavy. Sometimes you can't even get the strain to hear things. It doesn't. The audio is a mess. At the same time, the strange benefit is it diminishes background noises. So I could be in the mall. Theoretically, I could be in the mall, and you won't hear the noises, but you'll hear me. But it'll be wavy, but you won't hear the background noises. So I prefer the old phone. Bring back the old Honor 8S. Oh my God. And the only way to improve the audio on this phone is I got to use my other hand so I don't block the microphone. But if I use this hand, um, I have to partially block it to hold the thing. Jesus, I got to do it. Okay, I got to do it like this. Huh? It's just so tipsy if I do it like this. Okay, this. So just, let me get used to this. Okay, your mission. Yeah, strange day today. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to pick one of the quotes here, email it to yourself, write it down, use it as a prompt to free associate. Okay, so you were curious about it. Well, what's the most interesting thing about this quote for you? And make a note about it. Okay. If it's annoying, well, what's the most annoying thing about this quote? If it's surprising, well, what's the most surprising thing about this quote? Just see if you can add a little free associate a little more. If there's a feeling, say, validate your feeling. I must have a very good feeling for feeling annoyed by this quote. Okay, validate. What's the most annoying thing about this quote? I have a very good reason for feeling annoyed. Go on, free associate. What does this remind me of? What does this suggest to me? And so on. Oh, 1 second. I really should try to find another spot here. Okay, let me. Where can I go? We're almost at the end here, right? Okay, let's just go for a little walk and end up somewhere else. Hold on a second. they're still there. Let's see. Yeah, they're the couple's still there. They're pretty drunk. They look pretty drunk. They're out of it. Yeah. So there was a drunk couple in my spot the whole afternoon. There's a very nice tree up ahead. Um, I'm not sure what the name of it is. I don't know if you can see it. Just across the street there. Under the SkyTrain, over the bus. You get it? Um, can we get a glimpse of it? Can we get a glimpse of it? The tree across the street, that huge tree behind the white fence there. Oh, look at all the buses, eh? Yeah, tour bus. Can you name this tree? Can you figure out what kind of tree this is? There's the answer. A fig tree. A fig tree. Somebody's there. Huh? All right. Let's try the other side. Yeah, I was thinking about that couple. If it's legit, fine. They'll have happy memories. It'll sustain them. But it could hurt too. If it's forced or something, and if there's an intense attachment, it could trigger up original pains. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thanks. Yeah. The staff think they think I'm lost or something. Okay, how about here? Here we go. Here we go. Let's go here. Okay, let's wind it down here. Maybe there's about 10 minutes left of light here. Oh yeah, well once in a couple of the videos, um, we went to the top floor on this rooftop. There's a rooftop lounge on that hotel, and a very fancy, a very expensive rooftop restaurant up there, four floors worth. Usually need a reservation. So we've done some views from up there. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Let's get the let's get the music ready for our closing song. Oh, self-saboteur, eh? What about a song by Delirium? Here's a song by the band Delirium called Self-Saboteur. Very good song. Are we getting it here? Oh, here we go. No? Jeez. I'm not having much luck with this speaker. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No one wins at this game. Throwing knives in your face. And even though you're lying down, you're biting in a war zone between the world and your brain. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you mystery of our anger is your bow and arrow. It's better than a shield for your sorrow. When nothing's turning what can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you stay? You are your own worst enemy. All the things you have, always in love with someone, and you feel that they all the plans you made will explode at your side. From the anchor what can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy.
Maybe one paraphrase of that song is, can't you see that you have feelings? Can't you see that you have feelings? Okay. Now you might start off with the sensations of the anxiety, visceral sensations, stress, cortisol. You want to upgrade it um, to the feeling realm. Um, because you don't have the feeling realm, you're back in the sensation realm. So can't you see that you have feelings? It brings you to the feeling realm. The sensation calms down, kind of thing. Can't you see? Can't you see? You are the one who has feelings. Denying that is the problem. She has a line in there. Anger is a shield for your sorrow, right? So anger is an expression um, that that you have a difficulty with your sadness. Sadness is the primary basic feeling, but that's related to your beingness. So you go back to the primitive brain. That's the anger area. That's a shield because you don't have the sadness. If you get the sadness, you're good. The joy comes in. All of the joy for which you pray is 100 tears away. But if you don't have the joy sadness realm, you go back in the fear, anger, anxiety realm. So that anger is like a shield, or it's there because you're not feeling the sadness. You're not mourning. It's defense. Anger is a defense against mourning. But mourning is the doorway to beingness and growing up and maturity and healthy and healing. It's all about mourning. So anger is like an expression that you're not mourning. Anger is an expression that your needs for your feelings self, your beingness were met. That's why you're angry. In the Disney film Inside Out 2, Joy and sadness got souped away. Then anger and fear and disgust ran the console. So you got to get them back. Um, so if anger is at the console, that's you're not feeling the sadness. Um, which would lead to the joy eventually, right? What was the other line in there? Um, can't you see? Can't you see? There's a second line in there. What was that? Uh-oh. What happened? Geez, this speaker's not very reliable, is it? Something happened here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And there's another line in here. Hold on. So what was it again? Oh, my goodness. Let's do it this way. Let's forget about the speaker. Let's just do it the regular way. Let's try again here. Self-Saboteur by Delirium. No one wins at this game. Throwing knives in your face. And even though you're lying down now, you're fighting in a war zone between the world and your brain. What can't you see? Can't you see? Can't you see? You are your own worst enemy. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. You are what you despise. Yeah, that's the one. She's got a line in there. You are what you despise. Very good line about projection. Generally speaking, the thing you really hate, you say others possess this thing which you hate. Well, chances are you're talking about yourself. It's called projection. It's called projection. You are what you despise. You are what you hate. Often, very often, more often than not, it's a defense against admitting that it's yours, kind of thing. I guess I should wrap it up here. Yeah, today's a strange video. Yesterday I thought was. There have been some very good videos lately. Now today is a little awkward. I'm not sure how today came across. This two-parter one here today. Parts of it were okay. Parts of it were okay. I got a little distracted by a lot of things a little bit. On occasion, I get a nice enclosed room with no interruptions, and I can kind of focus and go straight. Often there's interruptions like that. It's analogous to an interviewer. I notice, like if let's say a guest comes on, and you're looking forward to hearing from the guest, a professor guy with a lot of knowledge, but the interviewer asks annoying, obvious questions, and you waste all this time repeating the obvious, and then he asks another why, dumb question, and most of the time is spent with the interviewer, babysitting and placating his stupid question, and it's kind of lost like that. So it was a missed interview like that. I kind of feel like if I'm interrupted, it's a little bit like that. Yeah. So for me to do a good presentation, I kind of need a good interviewer, meaning no meaning a nice environment, nice conditions, or enclosed conditions, peaceful conditions, kind of thing. Not people taking my chair. Like, I'm just joking. My chair. It's a public place. I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've done some. Actually, is that the one? Where are we here? You might not hear it in the background, but that's the sky train in the background. So, okay. Wrap it up here then. Any final thoughts here? Oh, it's getting hot. I hear music. Where's the music coming from? Oh, it's still playing. Oh, how did this come on? Oh, this is angelic. Oh yeah, we opened up with Angel. Yeah, why don't we close up with Angel? We opened up with Angel. Here's another song by Angel. Trying to rescue their broken bodies, calling all angels to save their souls. A song called about a couple. She's just hoping that the couple can solve their problems. The marriage is on the rocks, kind of thing. Calling all angels, calling all positive memories. Sometimes your positive memories are your angels. Um, calling all those positive memories. Okay, let's wrap it up here for today. Thanks very much. Um, so as you've noticed, I have a fair bit of anxiety myself. I have not been analyzed. All these little awkward moments and ums and ahs and stops and starts. That's part of my anxiety. But there's no encyclopedia of these insights available. Only here. We got quotes from psychologically minded TV shows and films in here, you know, and then we got interpretations of myths and fairy tales in here. Um, geez, we even got like self-help exercises, like the three-chair exercise by Miss Ellen Teachworth, recently done. So we got like really good, clear, fun, educational. Jargon is kept to a minimum. Um, no Jung, no Lacan, Adler, Coad, really, like none of the, and no disturbed, perverted translation of Freud, so don't worry about that. Um, these are practical, clear, like Janof, like Teachworth, like Miss Golem, and, Masterson, Karen Horney, Edmund Bergler, a lot. Grodstein, Ogden, Guntrip, Brinsley, Solani, so on. And can't really walk around here. There's too many people. There's no place to go. Okay, let's just finish it up here. Okay, thanks very much. How about right here? How about here? Okay, thanks very much for the love of narrative medicine. You see, I hear a lot of background noises of the sky train and the construction and the road there, all the traffic, right? The motorcycles. But you might not be hearing it because the phone is diminishing background noises. Interesting feature. Okay, we'll pick up in the next video on this topic, on this challenging topic of self-defeating behavior. In particular, a version of it called Pyrrhic Revenge. My goodness, my goodness. It's very rare to find people talking about this analytically. Like, why are we afraid of happiness? Like, why are we creating self-defeating for ourselves? Why? To please the mother? Look, mother, I'm doing what you want. I'm pleasing you. Can I win your love finally? When do you feel satisfied at my defeat? That's what you wanted, you know, Jesus, right? And then from that, you might want to get back at her by, if you think being self-defeating can get back at her, that's the fire of revenge one. But usually the mother's happy with that. Mothers, they want their children to be unhappy because that promotes dependency, and they turn that to supply for them. So typically, um, people are loyal like that. You're loyal like that because that's your only connection to the mother. Your only hope to get mother's love. You got to be dysfunctional to maintain that tie that binds, right? The ties that bind. So dysfunction like that is constant loyalty, constant hope that mother will love you. Someday, somehow, some way, a magical time machine will appear. You'll go back in the past. Mother will say sorry and love you. Oh wow! So you're loyal, waiting for that. And so for more on this point, Morton Keysen, in general terms, about how dysfunction means being loyal to the mother, protecting the mother, trying to save the mother. Morton Keysen, 22, 91, and 2, for more quotes on that. That's sort of a key, two key quotes there, 22, 91, and 2 by Morton Keysen. Paul Libby Russell, it's a very important material in our collection. Begins at 2119 forward for 10 videos by Paul Libby Russell about repetition compulsion. Oh, now we get a breeze. Oh, finally. Oh, jeez, I'm finally cooling off here. I'm sweating the whole time. Oh, finally. Just when the breeze comes in, it gets too dark. Huh? But this would be a good sort of a good summer breeze to go for a walk in this kind of weather. Yeah. Problem is there aren't many uh, parks around to walk in, right? I'm not in the busiest. I'm not in the busiest of the most busiest parts of the city, but it's still a pretty busy area. It's sort of a combo residential, touristy residential kind of area. This building, where is it? Is it that one? Oh, I should show you the photos. Where is it? There's a very we passed it already. Oh, we passed it already. Oh, you want to see some photos of a fancy building for sale? It costs a fortune. Yeah, that's for fun. Let's show you. Let me show you some photos of condo units for sale. They look really incredible. Hold on a second. Let me pack up here, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah. It's starting to wear away, like it's starting to get torn. So I want to get them in before they're gone. Some really incredible photos. Hold on a second. Just give me about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to get there. If it's still even there. Okay, goodbye, fig tree. If you have a few $1 million, you can buy one of these units. I'll show you in a minute. Oh, and it's a limited time offer, of course. A limited time offer. Hold on. Yeah. So here's one. Here's one model unit. So here's one model unit in this new condo they're building, or they built already. We're getting it in here. And here's the second. What's that? It's going to be hard to show you with all the people passing by. Yeah, there's a second unit. Hold on. Okay, there's a second fancy unit here. Look at that, eh? Jesus, eh? Here's what appears to be a studio, or possibly just a bedroom. Oh boy. I've got constant traffic here, so it's hard to show you. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's that one. And here's the next one. This must be just the living room, I guess. This one with the Panthers, eh? Well, there's another one. There's a mini ad. Another one here. And let's close it up with the sacred fig tree. It's called the sacred fig tree. We have one song on our soundtrack by the singer Sir Tab Renner, a song called Olson, Olsun as in Nancy. Check out the music video for that song, the one where she's hugging and holding the fig tree to help her in the grief process over a breakup, holding the sacred fig tree um, as a source of grounding and support. Sort of like Anshell's Hayfield, I guess. Yeah, so today's featured songs, Hayfield and Borderline by the band Anshell, um, and one by Ili Sapi, and If You Won't Leave Me, I'll Find Somebody Who Will by Warren Zevon. Great little song, only 45 seconds long, I think. That was commissioned to be a theme song for a TV show which never got made, but the singer saved the song. Thank goodness he did. It's a great little song. One of the best theme songs, I think, is that one right there. Okay, I guess I'm lingering here. Yeah, why am I lingering? Sometimes I linger at the end. I just kind of linger because I'm still trying to process something, some emotion or something. I feel like I'm talking to my fantasy audience. Maybe they can be present for me while I figure it out. Well, okay, I'll just have to leave it here then. So, for the love of these quotes, these interesting quotes, um, we can simply call them advanced self-help quotes, let's say, um, helping us to move towards no longer feeling like a constant tourist to ourselves, so we can feel at home within. So that's another song we sometimes play, Constant Tourist by the band Lunik. Constant Tourist. Oh, we played Delirium today, Self-Saboteur, very good song. We have 4 songs on our soundtrack by the band Delirium. The one you heard today, Self-Saboteur, truly, um, um, After All, the acoustic version of After All, um, and a 4th one. Did we play any Katie Lee today? We have 4 songs on our soundtrack by the singer Katie Lee. It Must Be Something Psychological, her main hit. Properly Loved. Repressed Hostility Blues, a fun one. Actually, that one, oh my God, Repressed Hostility Blues. Um, we could play that song linked to the Faustian topic we did today. We could also play that one there. And the 4th one is a Shrinker Man. Shrinker Man. The Shrinker Man song is a parody, a fun song about the fantasy, about how in fantasy, wouldn't it be nice if we could just get ourselves fixed the way we get our cars fixed? Hey, mechanic, can you please fix my car? Thanks very much. That was easy. Shrinker Man, can you fix me? I've been on one of these complex tours. I've been on one of these repetition compulsions. I got the Faustian bargain going on. I got my mother berating me in my mind all the time. I got to please her and save me. Can you just say your abracadabra words? Can you fix me? No, it's not like that. But she just said, wouldn't it be fun? Shrinker Man, wise me up if you can. Let me give you all my problems and you fix it. Uh, Anything else? You can even hear her chuckle a little bit when she sings that song, Shrinker Man. So check out the song Shrinker Man. You'll hear her a little bit laugh if you listen carefully. I guess she passed away a few years ago. She's lived a long life, well into her late 90s, early 100 maybe or something. Yeah, I don't know too much about her, but she wanted to be in films and all that. They booted her out. she got some rude rejection or something, then saw the shrink about it, and wrote 2 albums about her therapy experience. The first album was called Songs of Couch and Consultation, and all the songs are from that first album. Her second album is okay, but no real hits from that second album. The title of that second album is Life is a Bed of Neurosis, instead of roses, neurosis. A play on neurosis. A play on roses with neurosis. But those 4 in particular, I think, are pretty good. Shrinker Man, it must be something psychological, properly loved and repressed. Hostility blues. She's singing from the point of view of a stinger. I've got those hostility blues. Who am I going to shame? I got no one to shame. I got these blues here. She's repressed hostility blues. Jesus Christ. So she's sort of making us aware like that. Okay, so yeah, once again, the Comic Psychoanalysis is a very good resource. The Comic Psychoanalysis, Dark Horse Publishing. So it's 12 therapy sessions presented in the comic book format with 3 clients. A very good resource. Masterson's book, The Search for the Real Self, is another good resource. Karen Horney, one of our mentors, Karen Horney's book, Our Inner Conflicts. The Yanof quotes in our collection, I think, are a good resource. I'm excited about so many of the segments that we've done all throughout the past 4 years. So most recently by Ann Teachworth, her book, Why We Pick the Mates We Do, and the 3-chair exercise. And although there'll only be 1 video on that fire revenge topic, it's also sort of an interesting little mini segment there. We did 3 videos by Oman and Paul from their book called Narcissism in Wonderland. That's a good one. And we have a huge, we have several dozen videos on narcissism, major topic. So Kimberly Harding's book, You and the Narcissist, and a lot of great. That's another good little resource. Sorry. What's it called? Yeah, You and the Narcissist by Kimberly Harding. She's a professor of biology, actually. But she wrote a little mini sort of self-help book for herself. Just a mini little thing. You can read it like in 2 hours. That's very clear, very insightful. It'll bring you up to speed about the symptoms of narcissism. Now, she talks about the symptoms, but we include the cause, Trapped in the Mirror one. So for the cause, you got to read, like Masterson or the Trapped in the Mirror book by Ilan Golem and other ones. Or Ullman and Paul, their self-psychology theory about the missing breast, called the ersatz self-object. And the addictive trigger mechanism is sort of filling in for the missing breast. Jesus Christ. To bring up the fantasies. So they think smoking and drinking and so on, it's more about fantasies that bring up the feelings of blissful union, and then you get the good feeling from that. It's not just directly physiology. It's physiology to bring up fantasies, which then lead to the physiology you're looking for. They think in those terms. Roger Gould calls it like with emotional eating. Well, you want to put yourself in a food trance. I see a lot of smokers around. They look like they're in a bit of a dazed trance. I mean, just legal cigarettes, just normal cigarettes, just normal smokers. You see them a little. Ooh, I'm in a trance. I'm floating. Nothing can bother me. I'm in a. But the understanding of it all is the pain. So the final goal is to, study this material, and then find a caring witness to talk about it with, so you can mourn and grieve and get back and ride the firebird. So resolve oppositional thinking, either or, get it to both and divide the seeds, discern between real feelings and sham feelings, face all of this dues and debts you feel. You're not guilty. You're not guilty. You're not in debt to the mother. It's no baby's job or responsibility to save their mother, and they fail. They feel guilty and in debt to her. Oh my God, you always feel guilt like this. No, that's you got to update that. You're not guilty. You're allowed to be. You're allowed to experience some measure of happiness and identity with yourself. You don't got to sacrifice it in the Faustian deal. Um, all of this someday stuff. Someday, if I repeat it, if I repeat the past to the present, I'll change the past. Oh, come on. Someday, a pint of ice cream and a bottle of wine will be mother's sweetness and spirit in the past. Come on. Someday, if I show up to mother by treating others the way she treated me in my protest, and I show her up like this, someday it'll change the past. Come on. This someday stuff, you got to face this someday stuff. I would, I would add our topic on Forbidden Planet in Star Trek's episode Requiem for Methuselah, making it clear that it's within. It's within. These monsters and robots you see, they're manifestations of inner feelings manifested to show you that it's within. That message, that's an important message they're trying to get across. Um, okay, let's wrap it up here. I'm starting to drench in sweat here. part of part of my anxiety. I kind of sweat more easily than the average person, I notice. So the inference is that there's some kind of pre-verbal trauma involved. If people sweat too easily, according to Yanof, that means most likely there was some kind of pre-verbal, very early on trauma, either inside at birth or shortly afterwards. And excessive or easy to sweat kind of. I don't fully know about that. Symptoms of anxiety can take a variety of forms. Or homo anxieticus, homo neuroticus, homo dysfunctionalicus, homo traumacus. But it's built in that if we're traumatized, we can heal it. It's built in that we can heal it. So we're conscious. It's the unconscious innate drive for healing. It's part of nature. The innate drive for healing, and we're trying to heal. So Faust and Goethe, the Goethe and Ibsen, and the storytellers and the philosophers, the poets and so on, and some of the science fiction script writers. I'm assuming they went into therapy themselves. You got to find a way to teach psychology. So you use something like science fiction a little bit. Yanof says when a person reaches for the cigarette, do they know in that moment that when they're reaching for the cigarette, that they're in pain, looking for a tranquilizer to anesthetize and numb themselves? Do they know it? Like, are they aware of it? Like, I don't know myself. Are they aware of it? That they're in pain? Like, why are you reaching for the cigarette? I don't know. I'm just doing it. So you don't even know you're in pain. If you weren't in pain, you wouldn't look for something to tranquilize away your pain, would you? I mean, a tranquilizer is there to deal with pain. These cigarettes are mini tranquilizers, so you must be in pain. Really? I don't know. I've never interviewed a smoker. Yeah, maybe they would start smoking if we talk about smoking. So I'm not a shrink or a professor. I have not been analyzed. I cannot share along what I learned from any kind of shrink process. I've never done it. So I can't share what I learned from the process. Um, but there's a book called Fight Against Fears that written by a journalist. She went to a shrink and she reported what her shrink had told her in that book. Very good book. Go to 28, 22, and then 3, 4, and 5. We plucked out the best quotes from those books of hers. Fight Against Fears, 1951. Sort of the heyday of psychoanalysis, the 50s, right? 40s and 50s. Burglar um, wrote most of his material in the 40s and 50s. One of our mentors, Edmund Burglar, yeah. Oh, I just saw a cigarette carton box with a gruesome image telling you, dear smoker, if you smoke these cigarettes, this is what you're doing to your lungs. And they show you this gruesome image. Does it work? It should work. Why wouldn't it work? If it doesn't work, they really need therapy. Oh my God. You know you're damaging your lungs. Well, maybe to get back at my mother. She doesn't like it when I smoke. Okay, that's a pyrrhic revenge. This hotel is very nice, but there's no lobby. There's literally no lobby except for two or three sort of chairs. So there's no way to do a video in here. The whole lobby is the front desk. That's it. Just checking in. There's there's two seats beside the front desk, so you can't really use it. It's a nice fancy hotel too. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the one I talked about earlier. That's the one with the nice views at the top. So we'll do it another time. In another video, I'll go back up. About a week ago, I showed some views from up there. Some nice views up there. Yeah, today's pretty cloudy, right? Oh, not that. Oh, sorry, not that one. Oh no. Oh, correction. No, I made a mistake. It's another one. It's this one. It's this one. This is the one with the rooftop. That one there, not that one. This one. I don't live in this little area. Too expensive to live here. Any final thoughts here? 2360 on how to make an I statement. TQ 2360. That's an important one, I think. Okay, let's wrap it up here, right? Yeah. Well, 2 videos ago, I closed up with a couple of jokes. That was kind of fun. I don't think I'll recycle them, but I kind of need new jokes. So once again, the first part of the joke, benign violation of your expectations. So there's a little tension, a little suspense, but it's benign. You know, we can all live like nomads. What do you mean? A little suspense, a little tension. And then the second part, where, um, where I know mad at you, you know mad at me. Okay, so you got the answer. The tension's gone. You're safe. You got the answer. You don't have to live like a nomad. It's just a play on words. So the second part lets you feel safe. Lets you feel safe in comparison to the prior tension set up by the first part of the joke. And in comparison, feel safe. So from tension to safety, what the joke does, the first part tension, second part safety, that release, you might laugh at that. Now, Grosstein makes it a very important point. When you want to analyze, some people laugh at put-down jokes. Okay, that's the paranoid schizoid mode, the stinger mode. They're blowing off steam called schadenfreude. If their humor is schadenfreude, they have way more trauma. But some jokes are just more playful, not so harmful, like the pigeon joke we did last time, or the puzzle piece joke we did last time, you know, or just some benign kind of things. Uh, I used to tell a kid's joke a few years ago. Um, What's 5Q, the letter Q? What's 5Q plus 5Q? Oh, you're welcome. See you next time. For the love of narrative medicine, I'll see you next time where we'll pick up on Burgarz's and his co-author Roy something Mr. I forgot his name. Their phrase Fyric, the Fyric one. So we'll talk about that. But in today's batch, there's a general one that you want to preserve your pride, so you 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 set it up that you can blame something else. So you let the thing fail, then you blame it that, and you create all that to protect your potential. And that's Faustian because um, it's self-defeating. You're not you're selling your chance for happiness to have these excuses that you create in advance. That was their way to apply the Faustian dynamic. Interesting way of doing it. But the focus is on you think, well, later on I'll be successful. Well, that's what you tell yourself. Usually it's too late, kind of thing. You're better off if you're going to open up a company. You're better off giving it your best. Uh, Learn as much as you can. Give it your best, uh, and take that chance. That if it doesn't work out, well, then you got to face the truth of what's really going on. So you might learn. You might really learn from that. But if you shield it, if you shield your potential and don't experience the true loss, then you're maintaining the hope like that. So you're delaying the thing, kind of. Right? That's today's quote. Okay, yeah. So let me just hit the stop button here. I do this once in a while where I linger and linger at the end of a video when I'm feeling anxious about something. I feel like something's unsaid. I feel like I missed something. I feel like I didn't process something. I feel like um, uh, that might. There's still a little bit of a trigger about today's video. I'm still kind of lingering about it. Um, well, I'll give it. I'll keep giving it some thought. Um, so thanks very much. The quotes are posted below. You know that already. We post on average 10 quotes per video with the hope that 1 out of 10 will be of help. 1 out of 10, 10%. So we have 10,000 quotes here. If 1 out of 10 helps, there's the 1,001 quotes for each person. So each person can customize and create their own. They created it themselves, their own, unique for them, what they like, their own 1,001 windmills of the mind. So everybody can have their own unique 1,001 windmills of the mind. It's unlikely that there'll be copies around. Everyone's going to select 1 out of 10 like that. And so it's a great resource. You can, um, on your iPhone, you can just scroll around and pick quotes. Oh yeah, we can do that. Maybe we can do that next time. It seems to me I did hear a joke. I'm trying to remember that. I'm trying to remember it. A son of a gun. Um, well, I'll just leave it with the 5Q. What's 5Q plus 5Q? Thanks for for the love of narrative medicine. I'll see you in the next video.